So guys, what's going on? So guys, there's a lot of things hottening up in the light heavyweight division. So as we know, Canelo Alvarez is a very wanted man right now. There's a lot of people that want to fight Canelo. And Sergey Kovalev and Arthur Beterbiev have called out Canelo Alvarez. Sergey Kovalev wants to have that rematch. Sergey Kovalev believes that, he said that, he didn't get enough preparation. He was coming off a hard fight against Yard. And I find it funny that a lot of these guys do that. They say these things, oh, well, I didn't get enough time. But yet you took the fight for the money. It's really funny, really, really funny. A lot of people complain afterwards, oh, I didn't get enough preparation time. Canelo didn't give you this, that, and the other. But yet they still take the fight because they want to get paid. And Kovalev got paid nice, a handsome amount of money. We know Kovalev got paid very well for that fight. I think Kovalev is done. I think Kovalev is not the fighter he was. I think in his prime, I would have, of course, favoured him to beat Canelo because of, like I said, Kovalev was a formidable light heavyweight. And I think in his prime, he would have been a problem for anybody. I think a past prime, Kovalev gave Canelo a lot of trouble and he potentially was ahead prior to the stoppage. But now Canelo I think he would beat him even easier in the rematch. It doesn't matter how long Kovalev got. However, Beterbiev is another guy that called out Canelo Alvarez. Beterbiev wants that smoke. And Beterbiev is saying that I want the Canelo fight and it's not a hard fight to make. I think it is a hard fight to make. And that's why I think he'll probably choose Bivol. Because I think Beterbiev is with ESPN. And again, Canelo's going to have to negotiate with ESPN. He hasn't got time. If he wants to fight September 18th, he hasn't really got enough time. Also, I'm not sure what weight Canelo wants to fight at because Bivol said before he's willing to come down to 168. Now, I don't know why Canelo would want to fight Bivol at 168 if that's the move because I just don't see he's going to get any credit. And also, Bivol's a 175 fighter and he's a champion at that weight. So Canelo could win another title at light heavyweight, which would be incredible against in prime champion, not against a guy that people think were past his best. He'd be beating a Bivol who's in his prime, who a lot of people rate very highly. So personally, I think Canelo should fight him at 175. I don't really think, the reason why I'm a Canelo fan, and I wouldn't want Canelo to not get the credit. You know, people saying, oh, well, he drained Bivol, this, that, and the other. I want Canelo to get his full credit because we all know Canelo's a great fighter. But him fighting Bivol at 175, he just gets a lot more credit. And a lot of the people with the excuses aren't going to have the excuses. There's going to be excuses regardless. Oh, well, Canelo gave Bivol 6 weeks. But if he goes to 175, then the 6 week stuff is nonsense. But if he gets Bivol to come down to 168, then people are going to say, look, he didn't give him enough time, preparation to come down to 168, this, that, and the other. I don't like the Bivol fight at 168. However, the fight that I really want to see, not the Kovalev rematch, is Beterbiev. And I've said to you guys, that's the guy I really want Canelo to face because for me, that's a proper 50-50 fight. For me, Canelo beats Bivol at 175 or 168, he beats him easier. 175, obviously, it's much harder because Bivol will be fighting at his weight, even though Bivol's not a big light heavyweight. So this is why I think even more so Canelo should go up to 175 to fight Bivol because he's not really a big light heavyweight. But that aside, the fight that I really want to see is Beterbiev. Because I feel Beterbiev can really trouble Canelo and give Canelo a hard fight. Now, do I think Canelo beats Beterbiev? I believe so. But I don't think it's easy. I think it's going to be hard for Canelo. And I think Canelo could be knocked down. He could be pushed to the limit. Anything's possible in that fight. And here's the thing for me. I watch boxing for entertainment. I watch boxing to see competitive fights. And let's be honest, the last few Canelo fights haven't been competitive. Yildirim, Billy Joe, and Callum Smith. And the reason why they haven't been competitive is because Canelo's too good. Canelo's too good. Let's be honest. There isn't anybody in that weight class at 160. And I know people are going to say, oh, there's Andre. No, there isn't anybody, in my opinion, that can give this guy a tough fight. I think he'll knock Andre out. He'll knock Charlo out. I believe he knocks him out. Like he's done with his couple of opponents that he's faced recently. I think Callum Smith endured the punishment and went the distance, but he dominated Callum Smith, and he obviously Yildirim was what it was. And Billy Joe, he stopped Billy Joe as well, and I think he would stop Andre. I think he would beat Golovkin now as well. I think the fight to make is Beterbiev, because Beterbiev, for me, I think Bivol is kind of fits into the same kind of category as the other guys. I think Bivol is a good boxer. I just don't think Bivol's got enough power to keep Canelo off, and I think Canelo will walk him down, and I think Canelo will do the same thing. I think Bivol's a harder fight than Billy Joe and Andrade and all those guys, but I still think Canelo gets to Bivol. I think Beterbiev, oh, that's a proper scrap. That's the kind of scrap that I'll be up for. You know, that's the kind of scrap that will have butterflies in my stomach, because I know Canelo, I'm going to be on the edge of my seat, because I know that's the kind of fight where Canelo's going to be in deep, deep water. And that's the kind of fight that's going to make Canelo, that's going to put Canelo right up there. And what I mean right up there, I mean, we're talking greatness. We're talking daring to be great. And when you're as good as Canelo, here's the thing. Canelo's already daring to be great, moving up to 168. Because let's be honest, he's smaller than all the 168 guys. But he's so skilled and so good, he's able to beat all of those guys. But now we're talking about another weight class up against a monster in Beterbiev. Tim Bradley said Canelo don't want that smoke with Beterbiev. He don't want none of that. Because Beterbiev is so big, so strong. That's a horrible matchup for anybody. But Canelo, if he was to take that fight, wow. Canelo would blow everything out of the water. And his legacy then, Canelo would be leaving, wow. See, a lot of people seem to think that as a boxing fan, when I ask for a Beterbiev, some of the Canelo fans don't like it. Some of them have a go at me because they think I want to see Canelo lose. No. I want to see Canelo tested and pushed to a limit. I think he beats Beterbiev. But I know how good Canelo is. I've seen his growth over the years, and I know that he can beat Beterbiev. That's why I want to see it. I don't think it's going to be easy, but Canelo could probably lose. But don't we as boxing fans want to see Canelo win fights like that? Who thought that Billy Joe would beat Canelo? You guys know the videos I made. Did I ever say that Billy Joe would beat Canelo? Did I ever say Callum Smith would beat Canelo? Did I say, Jacobs would beat Canelo? No. The last time Canelo was in a fight where I thought he could lose was against Golovkin. That was the last 50-50 fight Canelo was involved in that I thought he could lose. And again, Canelo's fighting undefeated world champions. So he's not fighting nobody, he's fighting top men. Plant, another guy, undefeated world champion that he wanted to fight. But I don't see that as a 50-50 fight. I think Canelo would beat him easy. I want to see Canelo tested. I want to see Canelo in a ring with somebody that I know he can beat, but it's a very, very tough fight. And Beterbiev is that for me. That doesn't mean I want to see Canelo lose. I want to see Canelo tested. Canelo right now is proving that he's an absolute beast and he's unbeatable. Canelo might be unbeatable. I even said that I think Canelo could win a cruiserweight world title. And I think it was Miguel in the comment section that said, cruiserweight, lol. No, because I believe Canelo's that good. Do you not understand? I believe Canelo is that good. I feel like, I'm not saying when you go up that kind of weight, when you go up to cruiserweight, right? And Canelo being such a small guy, you've got to be calculated. You can't just go up there, I'm going to fight the killer, I'm going to fight the best. No. You fight the guy that you see a champion. Remember, there's 4 belts. There's 4 champions generally. You fight the guy that you think's the weaker champion. I'm not telling Canelo to go up to cruiserweight and unify. No, I'm telling Canelo maybe if he was to unify, go up to cruiserweight and maybe fight a weaker champion just to win a belt. Many guys did that. Many guys in history have done that. They've gone up to a weight class where they don't really belong, but they win a light, heavyweight title. Like Sugar Ray Leonard, he went up to light heavyweight, and I believe he fought Lalonde, Donnie Lalonde, didn't he? That wasn't the best guy at light heavyweight at the time, but Sugar Ray Leonard did it. Because on your CV, you can say, I was a cruiserweight world champion as well. Because Canelo is good enough to do these things. But when you go up higher weight class, when you go up really high, like Canelo going up to cruiserweight it'd be crazy when you look at Canelo's body frame and height and stuff. But the fact is, do you think Canelo could beat some of the cruiserweight world champions? I don't think he beat some of the big ones, no. I think he can beat Makabu though. I think he can. The cruiserweight division isn't stacked with talent. You know, I saw someone say Canelo could beat Usyk. Come on, of course he can't. Usyk's too big and too skilled. But Canelo can definitely beat. Canelo could probably beat a top 30 heavyweight. Like, no joke. You put Canelo in with like the ranked number 30 heavyweight, I bet Canelo could probably beat him. Canelo's an absolute monster. You know, and I definitely think he could win a cruiserweight world title against the right opponent. I definitely think he could win a cruiserweight world title against the right guy, against a weak champion, against a weak, not against the best, you know, against a guy that's 6'4" or, you know, and big as, no, against the right champion, like a Makabu, who's 6 foot tall, you know, who's decent fighter, but a guy that Canelo could probably beat. This is what I'm saying. When you move up weight class, this is why I think if Canelo was to move up to light heavyweight and was to unify, it would be unbelievable, because I think Canelo, for me, that would be the limit, you know, he could go to. If he goes up to cruiserweight, I think then that's when Canelo would have to start, you know. I think Canelo right now could move up to light heavyweight and fight all the best at light heavyweight. I think he's strong enough, big enough, and his skill set could move up to that weight and compete and beat the best at that weight. I think like cruiserweight would be, he wouldn't be able to compete against the best at that weight. He may be able to beat a champion, a weaker champion, like a Makabu, for example. I think he could beat Makabu, Canelo. But he wouldn't be able to beat a Lawrence Okoli, for example, because just too big. So even though he's more skilled than Okoli, better fighter than Okoli, there comes a point where size and height and physical advantage is just too much, where your skill set can't overcome that. And I feel like cruiserweight would be that. I don't think light heavyweight is that. I don't think light heavyweight is the division where Canelo would be undersized. I don't. I think he can beat all the light heavyweights because Canelo is that good. He's even undersized at super middle, but I think he's just so much better than everybody else. At light heavyweight, he wouldn't be so much better than everybody else. I think he would be, from a skill set point of view, better. You know, how versatile he is, yes, but I think it comes to a point where those guys now are starting to get bigger and they're better than the guys at 168, Bivol and Beterbiev especially. They're the two stellar champions in that division. They would cause him a lot of issues because they're not just bigger, but they're very skilled, they're strong, they can punch, and that would be tough. They would be tough tasks for Canelo. But for me, Canelo is capable to compete and beat those guys. And that's why I want to see him fight a Beterbiev, because for me, Beterbiev is the harder fight, because Beterbiev for me has a style that can cause Canelo issues at light heavyweight. I don't think Bivol, I think Bivol has a similar style. He's better than the guys at 168, but he has a similar style to the guys that Canelo's been fighting. He's just a bit more polished and a bit better, and obviously a little bigger. But I still think Canelo gets to him. I think Beterbiev has the kind of style that will cause Canelo issues, pushing Canelo back, the punching power, the physical strength, being able to push Canelo around. Beterbiev has that. And that could cause Canelo issues. That could cause Canelo problems. So this is why I want to see that fight more. But I wouldn't mind a Bivol fight either. I think a Bivol fight would do the trick for me as well. I just want to see Canelo pushed. I want to see Canelo in great fights. Beterbiev is that. And even Bivol would be a great fight. I still would make Canelo a 60-40 favorite in that fight against Bivol, to be honest with you. I think Beterbiev is split down the middle, 50-50. Some hardcore fans would probably even make Beterbiev a slight favorite in that fight. You know, they maybe make Beterbiev a slight favorite. But that's why I want to see Canelo take that fight, because I know Canelo can beat Beterbiev. I know he can. And this is why I want him to take that fight, because although it's a fight that, you know, he could easily lose, it's a fight that I believe he's capable of winning. And that's what we want to see. We want to see Canelo push. We want to see Canelo in great 50-50 fights. So that's why I want to see that fight. Not because I want to see Canelo lose. Why would I want to see Canelo lose? I want to see all the great fighters in great fights. Right now, Canelo's fighting the best in his division, and you've got to learn that. I just don't think they're a competition to him. Who could beat Canelo at 168? You guys tell me. Who could beat him at 160? Nobody. Nobody. He beats everybody, in my opinion. He beats everybody. Beterbiev is the man for me from 175 to 160 that could give Canelo a lot of trouble. The rest, I make Canelo a clear favorite against everyone else. Clear favorite. You know, I know certain people seem to think Andrade. Nah. Canelo is he's a different breed of a fighter. You know, some people say he's got slow feet and he's this, that. Canelo Alvarez is a special fighter. Special fighter. And I want to see him against Beterbiev. I wouldn't mind that fight at all, but I don't think that fight's going to happen now. I don't think that fight's going to happen now. I think there's a great chance he probably fights Bivol because that fight's easier to make. Also, Beterbiev is with ESPN, so I don't think that fight's as easy to make. I know Beterbiev is saying it is easy to make. I don't think so. I think there's a lot to do to make that fight. You know, he's got to get on board with ESPN, and you know he hasn't got enough time. So I think the Bivol is the likely option because that fight can be done like that. They're both with DAZN, so yeah, let's see how this all plays out. But personally, I think for me, I would love to see Canelo fight Beterbiev. Kovalev, you know, Canelo, there's no need to go over all ground. You know, he's already beat Kovalev, and Kovalev's only getting older. You know, so that's my take on it. Leave your thoughts. Let me know what your opinion is. Hopefully, I might do a live stream tomorrow. I can't guarantee it, but we'll try to do a live stream tomorrow. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you're thinking, guys. Remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Peace.